Okay. All right. We're back. It's Chris here at Sanford Hobbytown, all right? I just want to let everybody know and just thank you so much for watching our videos, commenting. It's amazing. We love it. Please tell us what you guys want to see in the next videos, if there's anything specific you want to see us doing. I know a lot of people have been so supportive of what we're doing here at the store. We're gonna get to this in just a second, but I just kind of want to let everybody know that we are so thankful for everybody watching, commenting. It's really awesome and we love that. In celebration, we've got a brand new Bronco here and a bunch of Traxxas accessories and some 2.2 wheels and tires. We're gonna install these parts on this Bronco and make it the ultimate Bronco. Got the light kit, the winch, the Bluetooth module, the lift kit. This thing's gonna be epic and we're gonna show you the end result of that. Now, this is actually for a customer. This isn't for me. So we are gonna wanna make sure, you know, everything is perfect, just how the customer likes it. But we are going to follow along here since this is something that we would be doing here at the shop anyway. So let us know if that's pretty cool and if you enjoy watching this type of content. One other thing I just want to mention, I've been getting some comments about this helicopter that's up here behind me. This is my personal helicopter. It's a RAW 700 from SAB. I'm not going to go too in depth here, but yes, while we do sell a lot of RC cars here, and we do know a lot about RC cars here, me personally, I'm a big airplane and helicopter guy. So if anybody wants to see content like that, let us know. Maybe we'll go to the flying field or something. I just thought I would address that just for a quick moment. We're gonna go ahead and unbox all these items right now just so we see what we're working with. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox the Bronco. Get a good look at that. Pop that open. I see a spare tire. Get the foam out. Pull out the vehicle. This one's blue. Customer specifically requested blue, and I think it was a very nice choice. Like I said, let me know down in the comments if you guys enjoy this type of video where we're just checking out, seeing what's going on in the shop. This just happens to be one of the things we're doing for a customer, just getting this thing hooked up right away, right out of the gate. We've got the TRX4 chassis, very clean. It's always nice to work on a brand new truck. Everything's perfectly clean. There's no dirt anywhere. I'm gonna pop the body on there, and then this has the clipless body design where actually it's a very clean setup, no body clips whatsoever, anywhere to be seen. It's got the quick release setup. So that's actually very, very nice. And just looking at this thing, look at the rear of that. Those lights are gonna look absolutely insane inside here. It's gonna look like, actually like the real thing. Got the Bronco logo up front here. Got the long arm lift kit. You can see on the back here, everything that it includes. We've got the Pro Scale lighting kit. So this is, we'll read along together here. Headlights, halo, daytime running lights, brake lights, reverse lights, turn signals, hazard lights. This is the Bluetooth module that goes in the back of the radio, so that way we can actually have full functionality over the lights. And we of course have the winch, which should mount very nicely to the front bumper here with the winch remote to control it, so that way this thing is ready for the trails. And of course, if we're gonna be lifting this thing, we're gonna need some more meat under the chassis. So these are 2.2 wheels and tires, and they've got the licensed method wheels. So these are actually a factory upgrade from Traxxas, and it's almost got like a black chrome look to it. But just so we can see here, these are gonna look epic on there. As you can see, this is the servo tray. The servo actually needs to be relocated for the long arm lift kit. All right, we've got the shocks in red. That looks really good. We've got all the links. And actually, it's a different shade of red than I thought it was going to be, and I really like it. I thought it was going to be kind of like this anodized color, but they're almost more of like a red painted color, almost like they're powder coated. And you also have the cables in order to lock and unlock the differentials. These are probably a bit longer just because we're lifting up the truck a bit more, so that way nothing gets kinked. We've got the actual module to power all the lights. We've got the main lead here, so that plugs into the module over here. We've got the lights, which should just screw in directly into the light buckets that are already molded into the body. And we've got the winch, which I suppose I could unbox if we really want to see what's going on in here. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that. This thing is pretty nice. And it's got a really nice free spool feature where if you click the button on the side here, it actually allows you to pull it out. So you don't have to wait, 30 minutes for your little winch remote to fully extend on here. That way you can literally just pull it out and then you can go ahead with the winch remote and do your recovery. I'm just gonna get organized here, make sure we have all the parts that we need to get started on this. And I'm probably going to go ahead and start with installing the lift kit first and get the wheels and tires on. Then after that, we'll go ahead and install the light kit and probably do the winch last. First thing in the instruction manual is to fill the shocks with oil. All right, we've got our shocks stationary here so that way we can actually bleed them, get all the air out of them, fill them with oil so that way they're perfectly filled. Here, Traxxas wants 6.7 millimeters filled from the top. All right, and then over here you can actually see how much spring tension they actually want you to set for each one of the shocks and how it affects the shock. So we're just gonna go ahead and follow along with that and get these filled up with some oil. Get that filled. We don't want to fill too much. Just gonna get it about halfway. Get the air out. Get those bubbles out. And then fill it a little bit more. And then once all the air comes up, we'll top it off exactly where Traxxas recommends. And then once all the air is out of those shocks, we'll be able to put the shock caps back on and get them installed in the vehicle. It looks like we've got the air out of all the shocks, all the bubbles are out, and the oil is 6.7 millimeters from the top of the shock in the fully compressed position. So now these shocks are ready for the shock caps to be installed on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Make sure the retainer's on the bottom side of that little spacer in here. We don't want the spacer to be on the bottom of that retainer, otherwise the retainer will not be sitting properly. All right, get that one on there. This is actually quite satisfying, assembling these. Nice little pop. Okay. Now we've got all the shocks assembled. Traxxas has a nice little measurement right on the bottom of the manual. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay down one shock at a time on here. So we're gonna bring that down, pull the pin out of here. We can pull that off of there. There's the front half. Now if you'll notice, I'm using hand tools for this. You could certainly use power tools, but for bigger jobs, like when I'm working on bigger vehicles like X-Maxes, sure, I'll use a power drill just so that way I don't get blisters on my hands from constantly screwing these giant 4mm screws. But on small stuff like this, it's always good to use a hand tool so that way you don't damage any of the small parts. So the next thing we're doing is we're going to be removing the cables in order to lock and unlock the differentials, and we're going to replace them with these cables over here. So I'm going to remove this screw and this screw right here. We're going to pop these out, and those come out pretty fast. One, two, and we're going to pop the ball joints off of these servos, and then that will allow us to actually remove these cables. So now things are getting exciting. We're actually going to remove the entire rear axle of the vehicle. So this whole truck is it's coming pretty far apart. So we've got all the screws out. Now, in theory, we should be able to just lift this entire assembly out of here like so. Look at this. Oh man.
How easy.
Pop those out. And since we already removed that cable, this entire thing comes off like that. And we're just gonna place that right over here. All right. And then let's just take a look at this bare TRX4. We're actually gonna do the same exact thing to the front axle. We're gonna go ahead and remove this entire assembly all in one, just like we did that. Traxxas wants us to go ahead and remove the shocks and the links from this assembly. Now, you'll notice that obviously I can't reach these screws on the side here because the wheels are in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the wheels so that way we just have the axle that we're working on here with the link. Just like that. Do the same to the other side. Oh, thank you. Then, one screw on the bottom here. We've got the front axle coming off here in one nice swoop. I feel like I'm caught up on something. Oh, yes, I am actually. I'm caught up on the steering servo linkage. That. And there's another one. So we're going to go ahead and remove the differential cover so we can install the differential lockers that are included in the kit here in place of the stock piece. So there's 4 screws on the back side here, and we're going to do the same thing for the front and rear axle to actually get those installed. Be able to take a nice look inside here where we will see all kinds of fun happening. And that's actually the differential locker right here. See, removed. So that way we can remove. All right, take that off of there just like that. All right, we've got the new piece into position here, and we can see the actual locking mechanism locking and unlocking the differential. As I pull this, you can see that's what we want right there. So that's good. We're gonna do the same exact thing for the other axle, and we will continue. We've got this all set. This is ready to go here. Next up, we've got the links. This is the 2021 Bronco TRX4, which has a longer wheelbase than some of the other TRX4s. So we need to extend these links so that way we get the right geometry going on here. And this one, we will put one of the straight ends on this side. Now, take a look here. We've got the nice red links in place of these links here. You can see they are a bit longer. Are they? Well, some of them are.
Nice.
All right. And you can see how much longer these shocks are here compared to the stock ones, and they've got the nice red anodized color on there. So that's really nice. That's definitely a really, really nice setup. So we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing here on the front axle as we did on the rear axle. So let's go ahead and get that on right now. Now we need to remove the actual servo mount itself with these screws on the side here, and also remove the servo from the tray so we can install the new servo tray. Servo itself, which needs to come out. Oh, here, like so. As an overview of what we got so far, we've got the battery tray reinstalled with the spacers on the bottom so that way it clears the top of the servo. We'll flip it around underneath here. We've got the servo installed along with the inner fenders that are back on there. So the next step is actually going to be to reinstall the full front axle assembly back on the vehicle. So we're just going to bring that over here now and make sure we've got the right orientation. So this is the front. It's going like this. Get these into position here. And I'm just noticing that I may not have that much clearance to tighten that screw. I might. Let's just see where this leaves us here. Get these into position. All right, so Kat's gonna go ahead and remove these screws, and we're gonna install them one by one to get the back half installed. Very nice.
Can I just do it one at a time?
Yep, just go one at a time.
So
All right, we got that last shock getting installed here. Perfect. Kat's got her serious face on again. This part's tedious. Perfect. That one should go in pretty quick. And just snug on that. Okay. All right, so now we've got to get these shafts installed. We've got to get the long shafts installed on the shorter shafts. And Kat's getting that all set up for us. So Traxxas wants us to put a different gear on the motor in order to probably counteract the fact that we're going to be putting larger tires on here, just so that the motor isn't under any strain. So right now we've got an 11 tooth, and they're giving us a 10. So we're going down one tooth just to get a little bit more torque out of it. All right, and get that back on there. And everything looks pretty good. We've got the suspension, everything looks nice and tight where it needs to be. Excellent. All right, so here we have the finished product, and this thing is epic. You can do a little view around here on the back. You can see those red links on the bottom there, and we've got quite a bit of travel. Look at that. Pretty impressive, and I've got a stock Bronco right here for comparison. You can see the difference. This thing towers over the other one. You can see how much bigger it is overall between the two with the lift kit, with the 2.2s, and how it comes out of the box. Okay, see it side by side. All right, look at that roof line. This thing is literally towering over this. And then you can see the rear. Check that out. Just like that. This thing is way beefier. And if we're looking at suspension travel, let's just see in comparison. I'm going to lift this one up like this before that rear tire moves, and then this one here. Look how much more you have with the lift kit and the 2.2s versus the stock setup. You get quite a bit more, bigger obstacles with that one there. So that is sweet. So let us know down in the comments if you like this kind of video. Let us know if you want to see part 2 of us actually installing the full light kit and all the other accessories we mentioned earlier in the video. So far we've just got the lift kit on it, so if you want to see the end result with the lights and everything else installed, definitely let us know. We'll see you in the next video.